The criminal underclass was represented in mainstream British comedy in only one way: prison. Throughout the 70s and 80s, British prisons housed nearly 1 million criminals, far exceeding its certified prison population in its Victorian jails. Despite this criminal trend, it took until 1975 and the arrival of Porridge for the great British public to watch others doing stir.
The best situation comedy came from a captive situation.
Norman Stanley Fletcher, you have pleaded guilty to the charges brought by this court.
And that can be many things. It can be a marriage, it can be a relationship. Obviously, prison is the ultimate captive situation.
You will go to prison for 5 years.
Porridge was in its own little world in Slade Prison, which is why it's timeless.
Would you, Adam and Eve? Go to jail.
Porridge was considered controversial at the time. The idea of setting a sitcom in prison was neither obvious nor accepted.
Going on with Harry Grout, genial Harry Grout, Peter Vaughan, at the top, listening to the Archers in his cell and surrounded by books. Kowtowing to him was his minders, and of course Ronnie Fletcher. All right, Harry, how are you? You know, and all this. And us lot all terrified of him. Fletcher, he even had control, certainly, over Mr. Barraclough, who didn't.
I'm not here to be cajoled or coerced into doing what you want, whenever you want it.
Oh, Mr. Barraclough, of course you're not. I mean, would I ever?
Well, as long as that's clearly understood, that's
We dealt with the class system in prison. You may remember we had a defrocked dentist.
Well, unlike the rest of you, I'm not a common criminal.
Oh? I don't know whether it's escaped your notice, but you are doing porridge, ain't you?
Yes, you know what I mean. I'm a professional man, a dentist. Consequently...
Now, just a minute. Let's just set the record straight, shall we? You was a dentist, right? It's been some time now since they struck you off their little list, hasn't it, eh? After that regrettable incident with the laughing gas.
We went round several prisons. We met somebody who was the closest to a real-life Fletcher that I've ever met. We learnt from him that one of the ways of surviving was just by little victories that you got, that kept you going.
You can't beat the system, Mr. Barraclough.
Fletcher's probably one of the all-time great sitcom characters. Working class character, very cheeky.
2 chalk ices, please.
You don't have to have been in prison to appreciate what Ronnie Barker is all about. You know he's kind of slightly world-weary.
You have been here before? No, I've never been here before, but it's all the same. Porridge is porridge, isn't it?
There was a near riot in one prison when they weren't allowed to watch Porridge, or that they regard it as a punishment. You know, if you don't behave, you can't watch Porridge on Thursday night. Apparently the prison officers liked it just as much as the prisoners.
Enormous fun, but I don't think I realised that it was going to be the hit that it was.